Alright guys, welcome back to CWRL's Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. We are now in the final round of the evening, so it is time for the main event, where we have the Intimidators taking on Chasing the Elliots. The Intimidators coming in with only a 7-point advantage against Chasing the Elliots, and I can tell you right now, as we've tallied up points throughout the event, it looks as if, though, the point standings are not going to be shaken up that much. It is guaranteed now that the top 4 in points will remain unchanged. And the most significant leap of anybody in the 14 teams here at CWRL currently, Hello Newman has jumped up into the 5th spot with just a little over 100 points on the day. So 108 points is his season total so far in 5th spot. So that means these top 4 spots, the Intimidators, the King's Court, Chasing the Elliots, and the Candymen, will definitely be qualifying for spots at World War Wall tomorrow night. That being said, let's get to the main event. Thank you all once again for sticking with us. Now, the main event is a 20-minute heat. Gives them the most time possible to score points, and this also really rewards the winners that endure through, giving them the most points that they can possibly score and an ability to either catch up to the points leader or pull away if they are the points leader. It rewards consistency if you're consistently good. But if you're consistently bad, then nothing's going to happen for you. We got 20 minutes on the clock. We're going to go through 5-second randomized qualifying here momentarily. See which team starts on the front row, where the checker cars start versus where the wrecker cars start.
Drivers, to your cars.
And within a snap, just like that, the checkers car starting in the first spot here for Chasing the Elliots. And usually this seems to be the spot that has a lot of bad luck, as it's really hard for the leader to just jump in front. Usually they do it from 3rd or 4th spot. And you got the Intimidators checker car in the catbird seat there in 3rd spot. Like pretty much the most desired seat here in the lineup. And let's get into this main event here. Thank you all for once again sticking with us
Drivers,
here at CWRL's Fight Night at the Freedom Factory.
Drivers, start your engines.
We'll go up to the copter cam view. We have 20 minutes on the clock in this round. Little pace car. We got the wrecker car starting on the outside. We're going to see if these cars decide to play defense or if the checkers cars pull out to an early lead, score some points. Green flag is in the air. Here we go for the final round here at Fight Night CWRL. And as you can see, the 3rd place car, the checker car for the Intimidators, has moved out front into an early lead, and he's going to strike the points first against Chasing the Elliots. Meanwhile, the checker car for Chasing the Elliots is in a tight 2nd. Still has not fallen off the pace. Still keeping the checkers car for the Intimidators close by. But the wreckers car here for the Intimidators looking to take that 2nd spot away, and looks like he's going to do that with ease. And it looks like it's going to be worse here, as that checkers car for Chasing the Elliots has just dropped back into 4th spot. The wreckers car is making a checker-wrecker sandwich here between the leaders. And you can see that the Intimidators starting to score points once again. We close out the first minute here of this 20-minute period. But before you know it, don't blink too much, because you can just see that checkers car for chasing the Elliots just came back into this picture, just with authority, took back the second spot from the wreckers car for the Intimidators, and he's looking to take down this leader, take these points back in this final round here. We're about to see who wins Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. Our very first Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. This is going to be every week. You can tune in next Friday. We're going to be here doing this all again. But tomorrow, we have World War Wall from Wall Stadium in New Jersey, one of the fastest quarter-mile tracks you'll ever see. And we're going to be hosting a double points event there. So be sure you tune into that. You don't want to miss that. But meanwhile, the checker car here working on his 9th lap, scoring more points, adding to that advantage that they had already over chasing the Elliots, who were not able to keep the lead despite starting on the pole. But you can tell he's trying to make a comeback here right now, as they are not even a third of a second apart right now. Coming out of turns 1 and 2, coming into turns 3 and 4, slapping the wall with every exit. It seems not changing the gap at all, though. You can tell that the Intimidators are looking to get another win here after they won during the Battle of Bristol. And as I am talking, you can see that a traffic jammer has come into the picture, but it's for the Intimidators, so no points have been scored yet. But that checkers car for chasing the Elliott, though, is able to score points, and that might be able to close the gap a little bit between him and the leader right now, as the leader continues to score 1 point for every lap he leads, and heads on to that 122 points that he brought into the final round from the prior rounds. And a battle up front here as chasing the Elliots is taking the lead with authority here. The checkers car for the Intimidators has just dropped back to second. Chasing the Elliots might be able to pull off the upset. And if they're able to get enough points and catch back up, if they win, they're able to score 50 victory points for winning the final round, the final heat race of the event. We're about to see how it all unfolds, though, as they are beginning to pull away, and you can tell that the Intimidator's checkers car is barely in the camera shot and has the wrecker car for the Intimidators up on his back bumper. Usually you want your wreckers car playing wingman for you, but right now that wreckers car not doing much good. And here you can see the obvious gap between him and the leader. He wants to chase him back down, start earning more points. But this gap is getting smaller and smaller as chasing the Elliots checkers car is leading the way. Both teams today have had dominating performances at the Freedom Factory. Both teams are going to be able to pad on to their leads regardless of how they finish. The overall points, they're secure for the next event. They have a seed. So we're going to see who takes home the bragging rights and whether or not chasing the Elliots can overcome the King's Court for second in points. That might be the biggest thing that happens today, is chasing the Elliots take second place in points from the King's Court. We're only about 160 points behind them if we're looking at points coming into this event today. And we got a bit of a mashup here as these checkers cars have just put down a bunch of traffic jammers in one shot. Those are both points. Oh, and the checkers car for the Intimidators gets taken out in some crazy calamity. One of the checkers car, or one of the traffic jammers cars is currently on pit road getting repairs. Every lap that he gets put down is 3 points for chasing the Elliots to catch up. And now you see the Intimidators Checkers car trying to make a comeback here, making a move on the record card here for second spot. Meanwhile, chasing the Elliott, where is chasing the Elliott's record car in a nice, distant fourth spot here. Meanwhile, chasing the Elliots has a huge gap now between themselves and the Intimidators. As we wind down the clock here, we've got 13 minutes remaining in Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. Chasing the Elliots, closing the gap now between the Intimidators. Although at first the Intimidators did get some points for leading laps and for lapping traffic jammers, that's not going to matter if Chasing the Elliott can close this thing out, lead the remainder of the event, and score the additional 50 points bonus for winning if the Checkers car is in the lead at the conclusion. You can see right now chasing the Elliots, the Checkers car, working on another traffic jammer here for the Intimidators. Chasing the Elliots might pull off the upset here, come away with their first win of the season, preventing the Intimidators from making their second win of the season, which would be crazy that the same team won 2 races straight. Regardless, though, an amazing performance by the Intimidators today, as the Checkers car is back in second spot and has 1 traffic jammer between him and the leader. And it looks like he's about straight away behind, but he's going to be able to close that gap pretty quickly, I think. As we move along, we got 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the event. Chasing the Elliots have led quite a few laps so far, and they've slapped on quite a total. And I'm starting to feel like it's been enough at this point where they have closed the gap here between themselves and the Intimidators, even though the Intimidators first led that first few handful of laps there. We're going to be seeing all of this close out, and it's going to be a nail-biting finish as to who escapes with the most points and thus wins Fight Night at the Freedom Factory here this evening. Thank you all for once again sticking with us here at CWRL. I am the Geek Guru. I have not introduced myself to any of you viewers this evening, and I'm glad that you guys have stuck around with us, checking out all of this wonderful CWRL action as the Checkers car for Chasing the Elliots leads another lap, beginning lap 40, with the Checkers car for the Intimidators on his back bumper. Well, not really, but you can see that the leader is coming into the camera view here a little bit as we work our way into the corner here, and there he is, and the Checkers car is running him down a little bit in second spot without any cars in between them. Meanwhile, you got the Wreckers car for the Intimidators in a distant third, with a traffic jammer between him and second place, and the Wrecker car for Chasing the Elliots in fourth, with nobody between him and the third place car. Traffic jammers rounding out here with the leader, trying to put more of them a lap down. This has been quite the interesting event so far. It's going to shake up the points a little bit. Maybe Chasing the Elliots can surpass the Kingsport, who unfortunately did not have a good showing here today, only coming out of the event with 13 points to add to their total, which was 344. So they have 354 points for the season. And you're going to see Chasing the Elliots potentially challenge that lead, as they've come into this round with 115 points. And if they win, they'll leave with not only the points that they've gotten from leading and lapping traffic jammers, but 50 extra victory points for seizing the win of the final heat race. Now, whether or not that makes a difference is a whole nother story, because you can win the heat race, as we've seen with the Candyman, where the Candyman's checker car did finish in front of the checker car for chasing the Elliots, got 25 victory points, but it wasn't enough to close the gap that was already there with chasing the Elliots having brought in 54 points into that round. And now we're going to see how this all unfolds with chasing the Elliots once again setting the pace and dominating. We got 8 minutes remaining in the event. Chasing the Elliots putting another traffic jammer a lap down, bringing them another 3 points onto the table. Now he's working his way through his teammates here, but that doesn't mean that they have to give him any quarter, although it's common sense that they should. And now the leader is boxed in by his own traffic jammers. He's going to have to work his way through this traffic jam as he gets out of turn 2 here, passing one of them. And now working on the second one with great success. Now he sets his sights on the traffic jammer from the Intimidators, which is another 3 points for the team. Meanwhile, let's take a look and see, I was going to say where the checkers car is for the Intimidators. You can see him coming out of turns 3 and 4 here up high with one car between them. Now that car is going to be points for him as he passes that traffic jammer. But what he wants to do is he wants to get back out front. He wants to get back out into the lead. He wants to score points for leading laps, for lapping the traffic jammers, and get those 50 victory points that are precious victory points right now that could determine the winner of the overall event here today, as their gaps have been so close. Chasing the Elliots, though, leading lap after lap after lap as we work on the 57th lap, about to get onto the 58th lap here. What an event that has unfolded here today. Chasing the Elliots looking like they might pull off the upset win here against the Intimidators. The black sheep of CWRL hoping to remain the head wolf of the pack here. It's going to make things interesting for tomorrow night's event, World War Wall at Wall Stadium, one of the fastest quarter miles that we have. Completing another lap. We have just completed 60 laps, working on 61 right now, as we are 5.5 minutes away from the conclusion of this event. Chasing the Elliots is putting on a bit of a clinic here today, as they have been out front for a sufficient amount of time to overtake the lead that the Intimidators had established prior. And now working on more traffic jammers. Chasing the Elliots, trying to pull away from the Intimidator's checker car here. As you can see, he's coming into the picture there in the corner, and once again out of the shot. Chasing the Elliots, hoping to pull out of today with their first victory, and the first victory ever of Fight Nights at Freedom Factory for CWRL. That's some bragging rights right there to say you were the first to win an event. The inaugural event, the inaugural Fight Night at Freedom Factory. A lot of bragging rights on the line for chasing the Elliots, as they are trying to fend off the Intimidators, who are on a hard charge for the lead here, as the Intimidators just scored 3 more points for lapping that traffic jammer. Meanwhile, chasing the Elliots is about to respond here, as another traffic jammer is coming within range for him to put a lap down. as we have completed 67 laps, and we have just under 4 minutes to go here. It's been a pretty clean heat race here, or main event, as I should say. Had a lot of crazy events happen. Wrecker cars getting lapped. Checkers cars falling back in the pack. Having traffic jammers keep up with the leaders. It's been very interesting. Having the winner of a heat race not be the one to advance. Did not see that coming. That's usually a rare occurrence. But anything can happen here in CWRL. It's a team sport. You want all the teams to perform. As we get into the final 2.5 minutes here, chasing the Elliots, looking to close this out. As the Intimidators are trying to chase him down, but they have about a straightaway between them. Half a straightaway, maybe. Chasing the Elliots, putting another one of his traffic jams to lap down. Let's see if this Intimidator car can catch up to him. Get 3 more points. The Intimidators want to squeak away with a win here. Getting in front would definitely help them do that. Something tells me in a few moments here we may actually also have some pit stops. Green flag pit stops, which would be an interesting twist. We are under 2 minutes here. In the Battle of Bristol, in the final minutes there, they went through green flag pit stops, and in the case of green flag pit stops, we do not conclude until everything has been cycled. So that could add to the clock a little bit. But in the meantime, chasing the Elliots just added more points to their tally. And if I didn't know any better, he's about to come up on his own record car. Let's put him a lap down as we come into this final minute here of CWRL's Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. Working these turns pretty hard, trying to chase down that wrecker car. But you don't want that wrecker car to fall prey to the checker car for the opposing team. That's 10 points. You can see the wrecker and the checker car, or the Intimidators, in a distant second and third. And it looks like that wrecker car for chasing the Elliots just got lapped. As we work the final 20 seconds here on the clock. Looks like this will be 2 to go at the line. So 2 to go at the line right here as time expires. In this final heat race here, this final round, it looks like chasing the Elliots are going to pull off the victory here, pull off the upset against the Intimidators. We work into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your first inaugural Fight Night at the Freedom Factory. Let us take a look at the points here, which are quite a few points that have been tallied up. First, we'll take a look at whether or not the checkers cars have scored all of the eligible points that they can. And the Intimidators were able to score all but 3 of the potential points here on the board. But at the same time, they also scored 10 points for lapping a record car from chasing the Elliots. So let's get those points tallied up. We have 10 points, and I said all but 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 points here from traffic jammers. 10 points there, so 31 points for the Intimidators, plus how many laps they led. Which is still a really good score. There you are. We got 13 and 31 points for 44 points, which gives the Intimidators a grand total of 166 points on the day, which will pad their lead quite nicely, as it'll lead them to 580 points overall on the season as we go into World War Wall at Wall Stadium. Meanwhile, the winners of this event came into the final round here with 115 points, and the Checkers car led all but 14 laps. So got 70 points for leading. 50 points for winning. So that's 120 points right there. And then we got to add all of the points that he scored from traffic jammers from the Intimidators. And that was quite a few. 2 of them were 3 laps down each. That's 9, that's 18. 15. 33 points. So 33 points added to 120 for that round, which is 153 points for a grand total today 268 points for the winners today, Chasing the Elliots. I want to congratulate Chasing the Elliots for this fine win. 268 points added to 182 points is surely going to put them in second position by far over the King's Court, which will move them back into third position. And in fourth will be the Candymen, who did not have best performance today, but still had a good performance. And in the biggest mover today would be Hello Newman, who moved into fifth with just a little over 100 points on their tally for the season. Well, that concludes Fight Nights at the Freedom Factory. This is the Geek Guru 1986 saying thank you for tuning in to CWRL's Fight Nights at the Freedom Factory. We will see you tomorrow evening for CWRL's World War Wall from the Wall Stadium in New Jersey, one of the fastest quarter-mile tracks you'll ever see. Until then, we'll see you next time.